Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel, and today it's kind of an unexpected story when we look at this guy. This is the Transformers Legacy Wave 2 Tarantulas, and I am shocked that Wave 2 came to my neck of the woods. Kind of a lucky break, I guess, because it doesn't usually happen that way. And the story behind this guy is so bonkers, because originally when I first heard about him being announced, I got excited. I was like, hey, that looks really cool. Then I heard it was a reuse sharing a lot of parts with Blackarachnia. And I did not like Blackarachnia, so I was immediately turned off. Then I heard that that wasn't the case, and he just shared some parts that were upsized. Then I heard that wasn't the case, and the only thing that was the same was the like crossbow accessory thing. Then I heard that wasn't even the same. So I didn't know what to expect. Then my wife picked this guy up for me. And I said, okay, cool, I guess I'm going to take a look at it. And that's what we're going to do today in the latest GotBot True review. Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, light 'em up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton and it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that in the description down below. Also in the description down below, and if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. You can check us out on Patreon. You can see what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course you can hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member. And this is, as I said, Tarantulas. I didn't know what to expect because I'd heard so much kind of conflicting information about the guy. I initially liked the look, but the more I heard, the more I got turned off, until I started to hear things that turned me back on, so I didn't know what to think. This guy needs to be good enough. In other words, he needs to be as good or better than my 10th anniversary Tarantulas. Not everybody got that, even though this is a fantastic character. And that was a fantastic mold. Is this one better? Well, we're about to find out when we head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. So as I pointed out in the very beginning, what a wild kind of path it's been to Tarantulas. With a lot of ups and downs, a lot of I don't like this, I don't want this, to maybe I do, to my wife picking it up, to now it's here. So is it going to be good enough, and we'll see this a little bit later, is it going to be good enough to replace this lad? And since my disdain for this was squarely focused on her, because I'm not a fan of her at all, is this actually better? Because yeah, it's been a wild story. Of course, before we can kind of get into his story, we have to take a look at the packaging first. You'll notice right now I still have him kind of crammed in there. Kind of don't worry about that, right? I'll get that out. It was just easier for me to kind of transport him to my review area by keeping him in package. Here we have his big spider form. Over here we have his head and like a close-up of his body. Over here we have your typical Legacy Decepticon like artwork. And on the back, of course, we have your typical product images. Here we have instructions. I've been pretty impressed with the Legacy instructions so far. These are bright, these are big, these are clear. That's a big thing. If you're going to do instructions, man, you got to be able to make them usable. Our boy comes with this saw blade thing. It's not exactly silver. It's more like a, I don't know, like a periwinkle or a lavender silver. Like it's got just a tinge, a hint of something else. You'll notice that we have a peg down here at the end. That'll be used later. I'm also holding onto a peg that can go in his, I'm going to say hand for lack of a better term. So he has that, which is, I think, an homage to his transmetal form. He also comes with the crossbow thing like Blackarachnia, but you'll notice it is different. The top of it, yes, is the same. Just the top half. You'll notice the bottom half is not the same. The handle is up higher on Blackarachnia's. Her kind of barrel piece is longer. Tarantulas is shorter and molded a bit different, so it is actually absolutely different other than the very tippy top. And both of these pieces can go together if you're so inclined. And our dude here can hold it, no problem. But to be fair, if you're going to put them together like they are right here, I mean, you can put one in each hand, right? But if you're going to put them together like they are right here, you're going to kind of lose the elbow. So, I mean, it is what it is. I guess you could turn it so it's more like on the side of his arm, but still, it's a bit wonky. So having it together, it's pretty much a straight arm out. It's up to you. All right, let's start getting into the nitty gritty. First things first, the mass of this guy, 68 grams. A bit small for deluxe, but to be fair, it is actually more mass than we had with the 10th anniversary edition. The 10th anniversary edition, and I assume the original Beast Wars edition, was 62 grams of plastic. So the new one actually does have more plastic in it. That's something worth noting. It still kind of falls short, I think, for deluxe, but it is more than the original. So that's kind of a point to its credit. It's also, 68 is also significantly more than Blackarachnia's 38. I mean, it's 30 grams more, right? So while I think Tarantulas falls a little bit short for deluxe, I gotta say, especially with the way the prices have gone, I also think that it's a little bit more acceptable. Here's why. Because this guy cost me a little bit less than the going rate for a deluxe here. Now, the Wave 2s in my neck of the woods came into a local comic book collector store called Time Masters, and that's where I got it from, and it was a couple of dollars cheaper there than what it's going for kind of out in regular retail. So I kind of say, well, you know what? It's a little bit cheaper than what I was kind of expecting to pay, so okay, I'll give it a little bit of leeway, right? But to be fair, I would understand if somebody said, oh, that's a little too small. That said, there's a ton of molded in detail on the mold. It's kind of like with Optimus Primal, where you gave up some of the mass, but I mean, there's textured detail on his entire body. There's kind of textured detail on his entire body here too. Same was done with the original. The difference is that with the original, the plastic feels... I've never had any issues with it, but it's always felt like it could crack or be brittle. The plastic here feels much better. So take that for what you will. So what about the paint detail and the coloration, right? That accuracy. Not bad, but there's a couple of things that I kind of wish were done. First, I do wish that on the side, outside of his leg, where we have a molded in line and a molded in dot, that was painted the same goldy yellow. Because it's supposed to kind of mimic back here, right? I guess I could paint it, but I almost don't want to because I don't think I'm going to be able to match that goldy yellow. Then we also have some goldy yellow that should be on, there's like a circular molded in piece next to the knee. That circular molded in piece should also have that kind of goldy yellow on it. And then we get to his tummy here. In some of the animations, sometimes this whole section right here, under his chest but above his pelvis, is still colored purple. But in other scenes in the original cartoon, the CGI I guess, this is black and the two little edges of molded detail, again, are yellow. So I feel like if you took away the mass, maybe you should have put in those extra paint details. I suspect that that value, at least from their perspective, went into all of the texture detail on the body, and it does look really fantastic. So, in terms of the looks for the guy, I'm going to say it's a solid 9. It's not perfect, but it's a solid 9. You definitely know that it is Tarantulas. What about the articulation for the guy? Well, I'm happy to report that all of the spider legs, while they can't move up here, they do all move at this first hinge, knuckle, ball joint, whatever you want to call it, and my guy can stand up on all 8 legs when he's in spider mode. So they're toleranced pretty darn good, certainly better than what they were with the Scorponok guy. They're toleranced as good as they are with Blackarachnia, but of course she had way less weight to have to support it. So these are pretty good, and even if they pop out, they're so easy to pop back in. What about the articulation? Well, the legs move, the head goes left, right, a little wiggle up and down, but not much. The arms here go all the way around and feel nice and solid, by the way. Butterfly back, butterfly forward. This whole black piece can move back if you want to get the legs out of the way. You can kind of do what you want with them. There is a swivel down here and a hinge for 90 degrees at the elbow. We do have a waist, which is nice. We do have the legs out to the side, which is very nice. We have a free-flowing thigh swivel. The original, the thigh swivel is more of a wiggle and it's built on the ball peg up at the hip. This one has a dedicated thigh swivel, which is very nice. We have our very deep knee and we have our ankle tilt in, but we also have backward a lot and forward a lot. And he is really, really stable when you stand the guy up. I'm going to say that his articulation is better than the original. If I just grab him here. A little bit better than the... Now, I mean, the original is pretty darn good, to be honest with you. But the original doesn't have a waist. And the thigh swivel isn't like as dedicated, so it's not as effective. But, and I don't think the feet had quite the same range of motion. The original is articulated really, really well. I love it. It's really good. It still stands up this day and age. But I'm not going to lie. There is definitely more parts here, and it is better articulated. I mean, I got to be honest, right? So, yeah, a 9 for the look. I'm going to say a 10 for the articulation. I don't think there's anything else I could want. What about the transformation? Because right now the dude is sitting at a 9.5. Well, the transformation is kind of interesting, kind of brilliant. A couple of, I won't say fiddly spots, but you may see me fiddle with it where this is on camera and kind of further away from me than it would be if I had it in my hand, you know, up by my face, right? But I do feel pretty confident in telling you that his transformation, honestly, is still going to be somewhere around a 9.5 to 10. So, let's kind of just get the spider legs sort of all out of the way there for now as much as we can. We'll deal with them later. We bring his legs forward, and then we can pick off, really, the back here, and pull out... Pull that down and pull this whole section out and up over his head. By the way, I like the head sculpt here better than on the original as well. The original just seems a little too bulbous. This is what I think of when I think of tarantulas. Okay, so we got those down. I'm going to just kind of get his arms up here out of the way for now as well. And then really we can kind of take the entire waist and lower body and turn it around. I'm going to bring the arms straight up over the front for now. Then we bring this up. There's a little tab right there that goes into a notch kind of just under the chest, and it tabs in. So like it's just under the chest. A little rectangular tab, a little rectangular notch. Getting these up out of the way so we can kind of see what we're doing here with the legs. The legs are definitely the fiddliest spot, at least for me. So we're told to put the foot all the way up, and then we bring the leg up, and you'll notice there's a black rectangular tab here that should go into the back of the leg. Trying to tab that in can be a nuisance, at least I find, because it got to be lined up just right. And then after this is done, it does say to kind of just push the leg up, but I find you got to start to put the heel back if you want to get everything to go up, like kind of underneath the right way. It's a very exact fit. And by the way, we do that on both sides. If I can I get this side? There you go, to snap in and then bring that up and see what I mean? Like it's not even that it's fiddly, it's just you gotta get it going up the right way. There you go. There you go. So I got that one up, right? You saw me just kind of have to finagle it ever so slightly. Over on this side, I'm going to get that side done just so you're not sitting here watching me fiddle with it, because I got to get that tabbed in and up. But you know how it goes. You just got to finesse it a little bit. It's not bad, you just got to finesse it a little bit. Just as an aside, this is the way you want the knees to be. Once we have that done, we can bring the arms in. So that'll come in and that'll come in. And then really we're going to bring this up on the side, and it kind of all fits in and pegs in and slots in here, so that, and again, you don't really need to see it, there's a little slot there that comes up here on the side and stuff. It fits in very elegantly, and in the end, boom, here we have Tarantulas in his robot mode. This is the way it looks underneath with the arms, and like I said, these come up, and there's a couple of like little spots and pegs, and you'll see it. It's as obvious as day that these slot in, so it all fits in here very nicely. I'm going to say that the transformation, again, is a solid 9.5. The only issue, if you want to call it that, is that you got to make sure that you get the legs positioned and finagled right to stick them up in the body. But it's easier, I think, to stick the legs up in the body here than it is with the original. Overall, I think this is a tremendous Tarantulas. He might be a little bit too expensive for certain people, but if you don't have the original, then I totally understand why you would get this guy. He's tremendous at about a 9.5 overall. If you have the original or the 10th anniversary and you don't think you need to invest on this guy, I also understand that, because here's the thing, Tarantulas is very lucky. His original is fantastic, but his legacy offering is just as, if not more, fantastic. By the way, I still don't think this is quite a tarantula. It's definitely closer than the original, because the original is not. This might be more like a wolf spider, but it's definitely closer, and you know what? It fits the bill for me. Maybe it does for you as well. And here we are once again, and here he is in all of his glory. So, okay, so kind of how do I assess this? Here's the thing. I don't think the 10th anniversary is bad. If people choose to keep that, 100% can totally see it. That is fantastic. Though, to be fair, the plastic always felt a little strange to me on that one, especially when it came to the torso. Though I do very much like the colors, probably even better than the colors here. I do like the feel, the tactile feel of this plastic better. It feels more robust to me, and I do like the spider legs and the resultant spider a bit better, even though I still don't know if it's exactly a tarantula, right? Like, I don't think it's exactly a tarantula. I think it's a wolf spider. I think that's what it's called, but I'm not 100% sure on any of that. I like the purple. Purple is my favorite color. I like the kind of darker shade on the 10th anniversary, but I think that this is more animation accurate in terms of shade. I love the head sculpt, and I like this head sculpt better than the 10th anniversary. I like the arms and the claws. About the same on both. I like the legs better on this guy. Way better. I like the sheen to the gold. It's not just like a pea yellow gold, right? Green, I mean, I'm sorry. It's not like a pea green. It's like a shimmery green, and I really, really dig that. And I love the like yellow gold on his feet and his claws. I do wish that we had that same yellow gold on the sides of his legs, which is supposed to really mimic this detail back here. And I do wish that we had it in here on the molded inside of his leg. Will I add it? I doubt it, because I don't think I could match that gold. If I can match that gold, I might. The purple section here on his tummy, like I said, there's an argument for that being animation accurate, but there's also an argument to say that should be black with two little yellow sides on it. So it's kind of up to you which coloration you go for, because I've seen stills from Beast Wars that show both as accurate. I think this is darn close, and you know, for the deluxe price point, I don't think it would have been too much to ask that we add those little paint apps. As it is, I think he's probably worth it. Now, to be fair, I got this a little bit cheaper, about $3 or so cheaper than what a deluxe is going for regularly here in my neck of the woods. So getting him slightly cheaper, I don't feel too bad about not having the added paint apps, but they would have been just enough to put this guy really over the top. He is tremendous. If you're a Beast Wars fan, and especially if you're a Tarantulas fan, he's absolutely worth getting. Is he absolutely perfect? No, but he's pretty darn close, and that's good enough for me. Hopefully, it's good enough for you. Let me know what you think about Legacy Tarantulas. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. You can check us out on Patreon. You can see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course, hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, stick around, and have some fun with us here on the channel. And especially don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single solitary day, you do make a difference. And then I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way right here inside the videos.